Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru.
The question has come. It's imperative that the message you are giving to Sangat should be aimed at the committee of the Gurdwara. Well, to be honest, every committee member should be looking at themselves and thinking, how will the Guru judge me for my time? Honest truth is, when you're taking on a responsibility, that means you haven't just taken on responsibility, you haven't just taken on power, you've taken on responsibility. There's a big difference between power and responsibility. Even there's a saying in English, with great power comes great responsibility. That means that when we have power in our hand and we don't use it properly, then we are going to be liable for why didn't we use that power properly. Simple gal hegi hai. If you've got money in your hand and you don't give it to the poor person who's hungry, then that counts against you. If you are garib and you haven't got any money and you can't give anything to the poor person, that's fair. When you've got money in your hand and you don't share it, then you're liable. In the same way, if you've got the power to bring Sikhi into a Gurdwara, if you've got the power to change the way the Panth is working at the moment and you don't do it, then you are liable to khai hegi. You will get punished for that as well. There's no way you can stand up at the front and say, I take power and don't get the responsibility. Guru Maharaj is watching every single person. Every single person gets judged on their own power and their own responsibility. If you have kids and you don't teach them, then you're responsible. That's against you. You can't blame the Gurdwara, everybody else for it. You have to blame yourself as well. So, if the Gurdwara does not invest in the future, does not invest in the youth, and then years later, there's no Sangat left, they can only blame themselves. Kisi hor di galti nahi. If we don't get these young kids interested in coming to Gurdwara, that this becomes a place to hang out. I'll give you an example of Southall. Every Sunday, 6 o'clock, we do Katha in Southall, Gurdwara Park Avenue. They gave us that time, 6 p.m, because no one used to come to Gurdwara at that time. The Gurdwara was pretty much empty. It was Rera Sahib time, then Sukhasin. No one used to come at 6 o'clock on Sunday evenings. So we said, please give us 1 hour. They said, okay, what time do you want? And we said, Sunday 6 o'clock. They said, no problem, have it. So we took that time. Now the Gurdwara is packed. The Gurdwara is quite full on Sunday evenings. Sangat comes to Katha. It's been 3 years we've been doing the Katha program there. Coming in May, it will be 3 years. And we've gone through all Panjabaniya and now Rera Sahib. Now Sat Sangat what they start doing now, sometimes they start booking famous Katha Vachiks to come after us, or sometimes on our own time. Sometimes once they told us, Duro Vidwan aa rahe hege, Katha Darbar hega ya, todi Katha si rehn dene is hafte. मैं क्या आपा तो कथा ही करते हैं कि जे कथा दरबार है गाया आपा कथा ही करते हैं कि लेकिन उन्होंने दूरों विद्वान आ रहे हैं अच्छा ठीक है when I turned up to the Gurdwara to see who is this दूरों विद्वान कौन आया it was a guy who lived in Southall and I live in Hayes. I've come from further than him. I couldn't believe my eyes. So what's happening, our Gurdwara are quite threatened by the youth. They think no. If these people stand up, they'll take over the Gurdwara and we'll go. But they're thinking the wrong way. If they welcomed us, if they worked with us, we don't want the committee positions. We want to do prachar. The same with the youth nowadays. They want to do seva of the Sangat. They don't want to have the hassle of managing everything else. If we work together, then Maharaj says, no, this is a family. A Gursikh Parivar hai. So, you can't just blame the Sangat or the committee. Everybody is at dosh here. Sare vote paande ne. People come here, they put voting, but who do they vote for? We should think about our votes as well. I saw an example, in this country, the Jewish community is very successful. Sare kehte ne, Jews dekho. I met this Jewish guy at an interfaith talk. I was asking him a question. I said to him, how do your synagogues work? Is there voting? You know what he said? He goes, there is voting, but we have a very special system. Everybody in the Sangat who's a member of the Gurdwara gets a little membership card. Now when they come to the synagogue, they have to scan that membership card to show they turned up. There's a little scanner machine. You scan it when you come in, you scan it when you leave. At the end of the year when it comes to voting, only the people that turned up regularly, they get to vote. If your attendance record is not high enough, you don't get to vote. I was like, wow. I was like, wow, what an amazing gal. Huh? Okay, you know what happens when it comes to voting time? People you never seen before turn up to vote. They get dragged out of their houses. These are kids that don't know anything about Sikhi. They've been dragged there just to vote. Is that really voting then? No, it's not really voting. Because the Sangat who comes regularly, that is a Sangat that should have a chance to have a say in the Gurdwara. The problem with us as Sangat members is we demand that we have a voice, but we have no responsibility. We want to have power and no responsibility. We're in the wrong as well. We think we have the right to vote in a Gurdwara, but we don't have a right over our Guru. We can only ever get given that right by our actions. If we know what we're talking about, if we're involved in the Gurdwara, then we should be involved in determining the Gurdwara. If we don't turn up, if we don't do nothing but give a couple of pounds here, then no, we don't get the right to choose what happens in the Gurdwara. So we're all at to fought here. But yes, the biggest responsibility lies upon the committee. Because they've stood forward. No one told them to stand forward. No one forced them to the front. They stood up. When they stand up, your shoulders have to be broad enough to take that responsibility as well. Yeah. So you can't just say, well, you can't do that. The Guru's watching everybody. Everybody gets judged.